Howdy folks, John with HillCo here, coming to introduce you to a fabulous new honey extractor we call the Maxx12. The Maxx12 is packed with features, great quality, and a warranty that cannot be beat at this price point anywhere. The Maxx12 extracts up to 12 medium or shallow Langstroth frames in a radial configuration or 3 deep Langstroth frames in a tangential configuration. If you want to zoom in here, we'll take a look at the reel. It's a new high quality type 304 food grade stainless steel reel. Holds again up to 12 medium or shallow Langstroth in a radial configuration. So if you're not familiar with that term, a radial configuration means that the frame's going like you see them here, like the spokes of a wheel. And how that works, so it enables you to sling the honey out of both sides of the frame at once without having to stop and flip the frame over. How it does that is because the bees build the honeycomb cells at a downward slope like this. And so when you flip that frame and set it like this in the extractor, it makes those slants are now horizontal, and so as it spins, as the machine spins, it slings the honey out of both sides at once without having to stop, flip the frame over, and restart. So again, 12 medium or shallow in a radial configuration, or here's an extra reel over here, 3 deep Langstroth frames in a tangential configuration. So tangential means the frame's going like this, out with one side facing out towards the tank, and it spins the honey out of only one side at a time. You spin for a minute or two, stop, flip the frame around, drop it back in to spin the opposite side out for another minute or two. So even though you do have to stop and flip the frame over, it still spins pretty efficiently that way in the tangential configuration. As you can see here, I'm pretty excited about this. So now we have this new bottom bracket in here that allows you to drop these deep frames in without having to insert a big basket insert. That's just permanently welded in there. So you don't have to be dropping an insert in and out like we had in the past. No insert needed to run deep frames. Very nice high quality stainless steel basket. I'm really excited about this. New higher capacity than before, and again, all stainless steel. The Maxx12 features all type 304 food grade stainless steel components. The tank itself is 21 gauge thick, some of the best in the industry. Nice sturdy legs, TIG welded and spot welded brackets on it that hold them on there tight, don't break off like some of the cheap ones do, and those legs raise the machine tall enough to fit a 5-gallon bucket underneath the honey gate. If you want to zoom in here a second, we'll check out the stainless steel honey gate. Really nice welded stainless steel construction. I really like these honey gates. Open and close real smooth, tighten up secure, and they have this nice full-faced white gasket here that just stays in place and doesn't. Some of the earlier models had just an O-ring in there that was easy to, as you open and close this gate here, it would kind of want to peel that O-ring out of its groove there. So nice improvement there. And like all of our Maxx series honey extractors and our Maxx series honey tanks and heated bottling tanks, this machine features our fantastic easy drain tank design. You might be able to see here as I turn the tank sideways, but if you notice here, you can see the tank slopes towards the front, slopes towards the honey gate here. I don't know if you can see that from the video, but it's about 1 inch higher in the back than it is in the front. So that's sending your honey, as your honey slings out of the extractor, it slings out towards the outside of the tank, drains down to the bottom, and that slope tank sends it right towards your honey gate, right out the gate into your bucket. No mess, no fuss, just the way it should be. Additionally, the honey gate itself, it has a little trough in there. It's mounted right below the floor of the tank, so in addition to the honey just sloping right towards your honey gate like it's supposed to, also there's no obstruction there. Some of our competitors mount their honey gate like 1 inch or 3/4 of an inch above the floor of the tank, so you got a whole bunch of honey gets trapped in there, and you got to be fiddling around trying to tip the tank over or do all kinds of fancy gyrations to get that last little bit of honey out. Not so with the Maxx series tank. Again, slope tank, but also a nice flush bottom mounted honey gate that gets the honey right out there and into your bucket where it's supposed to be. Fantastic stuff. How about our lids now? Really nice high quality polycarbonate product, also known in the industry as Lexan. These lids are pretty much unbreakable, really high quality, thick stuff. Unlike some of the cheap acrylic or plexiglass lids that you'll see on cheap competitor models online, these lids will not break. Some of those other plexiglass lids, if a fly lights on them, they'll pretty much shatter. These will not break. You can drop them, throw them around, whatever, step on it, they will not break. Additionally, I really like the hinges that we use on these. Nice stainless steel. You can see it's a really tall hinge, and what that does is it allows the whole lid to flip clear over like this, allowing very easy access for getting your frames in and out. So it doesn't hold the lid out a couple inches like other styles of hinges would that then inhibit the placement of your frames. Really nice. And I really, really love our PowerMax drive system. So the PowerMax drive system features a 3-phase motor, a worm drive gearbox, and a digital VFD variable frequency drive motor controller. This drive system is the same system we use all the way down from our smallest motorized extractor to our 32 frame extractor and our honey pumps, our honey creamers. We basically use the same technology throughout our entire motorized lineup because we really believe in this product. We've got a lot of experience. We got thousands and thousands of machines out there all over the US and Canada, the Caribbean, even South America. With these drive systems, they have stood the test of time for us. We really believe in this system. And so you may have heard me say a 3-phase motor. So before you get nervous, I can tell you it plugs into normal household 110 volt current, just like your toaster or your hair dryer or any other normal household appliance with a wall plug. So the 3-phase conversion, this VFD controller converts the single phase input into 3-phase power, which is what the motor needs. So the reason we use 3-phase motors is because they're industrial grade. All your big massive motors in factories on saws and on pumps and on all kinds of, pretty much any big equipment you'll see uses 3-phase motors. They're, again, relatively inexpensive. They're simple. There's not a lot to go wrong in them, unlike some DC motors or other systems that are out there. There's just very little to go wrong in these 3-phase motors. They're also very durable. They're easy to speed control. That's a big thing. Easy to speed control in a honey extractor. You want to be able to raise and lower your speed and fine tune that speed where you want it to go. And the 3-phase system just works really, really nice for that. On this model, in the Maxx12 here, it has a 1/4 horse motor. Plenty of power. It's probably overkill for this size because if you look over in European extractors and some of those elsewhere, they'll use this size motor on machines up to 20 frame size. So plenty of power there. It's going to do the job for you. And then it's 5-to-1 worm drive gearbox. We like these worm drive gearboxes. They're smooth, they're quiet, they're simple. There's only 2 bearings and 2 gears to go around. All steel gears, by the way, heat treated steel gears and lifetime grease in these gearboxes. You don't need to worry about maintenance on these things. They will last for you. And then our digital VFD controller. Again, it does all the magic here of converting the single phase to 3-phase power and also feeds that fine current, finely tuned current to the motor to raise and lower that speed just how you want it. If you want to come on over here, I'll show you how this system works. So it's very simple to operate. All you do is simply hit the on-off button here. You'll usually hear a fan kick on. I don't know if you can hear that in the video or not. And then you just turn this knob very gradually here and get that speed. You can see we can creep this thing just as slow as we want to. And again, when extracting honey, you want to be able to adjust that speed very fine-tuned because you're going to have frames full of honey in there, and that frame, it's kind of like a washing machine. Those frames are never going to be balanced quite perfectly. No 2 frames of honey ever weigh the same. And so you want to be able to fine-tune that speed and really just gradually speed it up so it's starting to sling the honey out, starting to get the bulk of the honey out, starting to balance the machine out, and then you just kind of fine-tune, you just kind of raise that speed, kind of tweak it until you find that sweet spot where it's slinging a good amount of honey out, but it's not rocking itself all around. And so you just kind of raise up the top speed on this machine. It's 360 RPM, plenty fast for slinging that honey out. It's also reversible, even though you don't need to reverse a radial extractor. It is reversible. All you got to do is simply hit the forward reverse button after you brought it to a stop and crank it up, and off she goes the other direction. I'll address a couple of frequently asked questions we get about these machines. A lot of customers are wondering how easy they are to clean and maintain. The answer is very easy. So all you got to do is take these 2 knobs off, and the whole top bar assembly, the whole motor bar assembly lifts off. You can set it aside, and the basket itself slides right out of the extractor. Very easy to take apart, and you can clean it however you want to. And also, if you want, while you're in there, you can grease that bottom bearing from the top while you have the machine apart. Additionally, if you want to grease it without having to take it apart and with a grease gun, there is a grease fitting on the bottom side of the tank underneath in the center there where you can hook your grease gun up and grease it. We recommend greasing every 10 hours or once per year, whichever comes first. Any food grade grease will do. We personally use a brand called Super Lube. It's a synthetic food grade grease that you can get on Amazon. It comes in a silver tube. Just look up Super Lube and it's right there. So again, very easy to clean, maintain. As I mentioned before, the gearbox itself is maintenance free. Good to go for a lifetime. And another thing we get a question about a lot is how much the machines wobble. And so the answer is, it's hard to say because every extractor is going to wobble no matter whose it is, because no two frames of honey weigh the same. And so the machine itself is very, very well balanced. It's made in a way that the stainless reel is cut out of single pieces with a CNC laser cutter, and so the machine, there's not imbalance in the reel itself as it's spinning. It's very nicely balanced out. But again, once you start putting honey frames in there, no two frames are weighed the same. So you just got to try as best you can to balance those frames in there. Get heavy frames across some heavy frames and light frames across some light frames, and then fine tune your speed. Again, as I mentioned, this speed adjustment here, this fine tune speed adjustment is really handy when you're speeding up there, because you can just kind of gradually increase that speed to find a sweet spot where it's slinging honey out but not wobbling around. We do recommend, if possible, for you to bolt the machine down to the ground. I know that's not an option for everybody, but it really does help improve the whole process and speeds up your extracting by allowing you to crank up the speed quicker because the machine's secured down. If you can't bolt it to the ground, again, I know that's not an option for a lot of people, but if you bolt it to a thick piece of plywood, or some people bolt it to a pallet, that can help a lot too. And some folks will even, when you bolt it to that platform, they'll put some bags of sand or maybe even a bucket of honey or any number of things underneath at the bottom to put some weight on that platform to keep the center of gravity lower and help to balance it out. Again, steps like that will help you keep you from having to lay on top of the thing and trying to hold it down because it's shaking around. And so those are things you can do to help speed up your extracting and reduce that wobble. So, and finally, let's talk about our fabulous, best in the industry, 410 warranty. All of our Maxx series honey extractors feature this 410 warranty, and what it means, you have 4 years on the motor, gearbox, and controller, and 10 years on every other piece of the extractor. So again, your drive components 4 years, and then for the 10-year warranty, we're talking hinges, lids, nuts and bolts, tank, the reel inside, the bottom bearing, the honey gate, every other piece besides the motor, gearbox, and controller is covered for 10 years. Again, 4 years on those pieces. So by far the best warranty in the industry, and we call it a no-hassle warranty because we are not out looking for loopholes and fine print ways to get out of covering something under warranty. If you have a problem with this machine, as long as you haven't done something really, really crazy like run it over with a pickup truck or beat it with a sledgehammer or throw it at somebody, we are going to cover this machine if there's a mechanical failure or workmanship failure of any kind. Again, we're not going to ask a lot of questions. We may just ask for pictures just to make sure we're talking about the same thing. If you're describing a part to us, we may ask for a picture there or whatever, but we're not here to hassle you. If there is a problem with this machine, we will stand behind it. We assemble these machines in-house, so we got plenty of parts on hand at all times. If need be, we'll overnight you a part. We've been known to do some crazy things at times to take care of a customer who's in need of some help. And so again, this extractor is the machine for you if you're a smaller serious hobbyist or small sideliner beekeeper who's looking to up your game. Check out the Maxx12 extractor on our website, www.hillco.buzz. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.